Chapter 311. Actually, I am a kind person. Shang Yizi breathed raggedly. The more he scolded Feng Yuan, the angrier he got. Ah! He howled, no longer able to suppress his anger, and flipped the stone table. The chess pieces were sent flying, and the table almost hit Feng Yuan's leg, but he dodged in time. Shang Yizi took 3 steps backwards. His head dizzy and 2 traces of blood flowed down his nose. Shang Yizi, I'd advise you to calm down. The poison vow states you cannot harm me. Thank me for dodging. If the stone table hit my leg, your injuries would be more severe. Fang Yuan laughed lightly. Ah, Fang Zheng, I will tear you to shred. I want to pull out your tendons, skin you alive, and devour every drop of blood and piece of flesh you have. Fang Yuan's smile became wider. Bai Ningbing frowned. Shang Yizi, you had better shut up. If not, I'll throw you out by force. You are a Shang-clanned young master now, but that does not mean you'll stay one for long. You are finished now. The Internal Affairs Hall has started investigating. You do not have many days left here. Her words were like a bucket of cold water pouring on Shang Yizi. That's right. He was going to lose his young master position. Saving his position was the crucial thing. But how could he save it? Whoever started the trouble should end it. He had to look at the source. He could only ally with Fang Yuan to announce his innocence and deny any acts of fake accounting. In fact, his original intent in coming to Nanqiu Garden was to find Fang Yuan to collude with him. Shang Yizi felt a disgusting sickness in his heart as he thought about it. These 2 scoundrels, they are the culprits in causing my situation. I want to eat their flesh and drink their blood, but now I have to beg them to cooperate with me. Shang Yizi could not accept such an ending. His heart could not take it. Fang Yuan observed his expression and saw Shang Yizi in turmoil. Thus he said, Shang Yizi, I am actually a kind person. I always repay kindness with gratitude and hatred with revenge. If you did not find trouble with me multiple times, caused trouble for me secretly, even going to the extent of snatching the bitter strength goo from me at the auction, why would I find trouble with you? I admit, the poison vow did contain a loophole, but it has been 2 years since I came to Shang Clan City. Have you seen me use it? If it was not you who went overboard, why would we reach such a state? All of these problems were single-handedly caused by you. I told the guards to let you in because I want you to know, your Shang clan is strong and I cannot afford to offend it, but you are just a young master. I am not afraid of going against you. Leave. I do not wish to make your life harder. Loosening the reins to grasp them better. What beautiful words. Bai Ningbing glanced at Fang Yuan, a cold ridicule showing in her eyes, but Shang Yizi did not leave. He stood on the spot, motionless like a wooden pole. His expression was constantly changing, turning pale and green alternatively. Sometimes he looked ruthless while at times he frowned in deep thought. In no time his forehead was full of sweat, as he had evidently fallen into great conflict with himself. Fang Yuan's words made Shang Yizi realize that their relationship had not reached the worst stage yet. There was a chance to salvage the situation. It also reminded him that the bitter strength goo was the reason for this. To protect my young master position, I have to make sure Fang Zheng cooperates with me. Cooperate? Shang Yizi gritted his teeth, thinking of the bitter strength goo. Do I really give it to him? I spent 810,000 on this. What would others think of me if I give it to him? They might laugh their socks off. But if I don't, how can I show my sincerity? How could I salvage our relationship? I am indignant. In the end, I bought the goo just for his sake. This is the biggest humiliation of my life. Because of Fang Zheng, I spent 810,000 to buy a bitter strength goo, causing everyone to mock me. Now, I have to hand the goo over to him. Isn't this just pathetic? No, the bitter strength goo is not the point. What's important is protecting my young master position. Without it, I am nothing. I will have nothing. In a short period of time, Shang Yizi considered his options, thinking until his ears were buzzing. Fang Yuan knew it was time when he saw that pale face, dazed look, and swaying body. Shang Yizi, we told you to leave. Why are you still here? Forget it, you pitiful soul. I do not want to bully you. Let's go. Bai Ningbing. I heard Zhu Kai Bei and Yin Tu are fighting in the battle stage today. If we want to dominate the battle stage, we need to battle them. This is a good opportunity to learn about them. Fang Yuan sent a signal towards Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing stood up and pretended to leave. Just as she took 2 steps, Shang Yizi spoke. Please stay here. His voice was coarse. As he spoke, he called out the bitter strength goo and held it out with shaking arms. Fang Zheng, it was my fault earlier. This is the bitter strength goo as an apology. As he said this, Shang Yizi felt extremely reluctant, but he got used to it as he spoke, and towards the end, Shang Yizi felt the huge burden lifted off his shoulders. This is the bitter strength goo? Bai Ningbing stopped her steps, taking a glance. This bitter strength goo was like a beetle. A small body and large body, its body was oval and palm size. Its body was yellow-brown and had an uneven surface as lumps grew on its back. He handed over the bitter strength goo as expected. Fang Yuan must be overjoyed now, huh? Bai Ningbing sighed in her heart. Fang Yuan's grasp at human behavior was way beyond her level. Fang Yuan laughed loudly, but said, Shang Yizi, I know what you mean, but do you think I can't survive without the bitter strength goo? Although it is hard to refine, if I persevere, I will eventually obtain it. Do you think you can create problems for me when you feel like it? Then reconcile when you need to? Fighting when you want to? Making peace when you feel like it? Is this world such an easy place? I, Gu Feng Zheng, have my own dignity. Are you trying to humiliate me? You're mistaken. Shang Yizi quickly explained. Fang Yuan snorted. Shang Yizi elaborated anxiously. I, Shang Yizi, swear, from today onwards, I will not create problems for you. The two of us can become good alliance mates. Fighting among ourselves will only entertain outsiders. Other than the bitter strength goo, I can make other compensations. Primeval stones, goo worms, goo refinement material. I am in charge of the shops. I can give them to you. Is that so? Fang Yuan's expression relaxed. Shang Yizi continued urging. Bai Ningbing became an outsider, watching this speechlessly. Shang Yizi not only took out the bitter strength goo, begging Fang Yuan to take it, but also had to compensate other materials. But she knew that he was just trying to get over this crisis. Shang Yizi was a petty man. He would definitely take revenge in the future. I'll keep the bitter strength goo. I need time to think about it. Eventually, Fang Yuan did not make a decision, but this was enough for Shang Yizi to rejoice. He thought that Fang Yuan was too proud and was trying to make use of the situation to ask for more compensation. I'll agree to all of them, in the future. I'll make sure you die horribly. Vicious thoughts appeared in Shang Yizi's mind, as he smiled even more sincerely. Brother Fang Zheng, I am very sincere. Please do not take too long to consider. The Internal Affairs Hall's investigation will be held these few days. Without the young master position, I would not be able to compensate you. Fang Yuan nodded, no longer talking. Shang Yizi left in a better mood. As Fang Yuan looked at him from behind, he said to Bai Ningbing, Okay, you can go report the case at the Internal Affairs Hall already. Bai Ningbing nodded, thinking, Tonight, I must go back and reread the vow I made with Fang Yuan, word by word. A few days later, I in the study room, a sigh was echoing. Shang Yanfei placed his paperwork down expressionlessly. The content was sent from Internal Affairs Hall, involving Shang Yizi's fake accounting case. Such a thing, it was okay to do it secretly. But once exposed, how could the clan tolerate it? Shang Yizi was Shang Yanfei's second son. The sigh earlier was a father's disappointment in his son. Revoke his young master status and punish him to join the slave capturing group. He is not to return here for 3 years. Shang Yanfei raised his brush and wrote the punishment for Shang Yizi. He is the Shang clan leader. Because of this identity, he had to represent the entire clan. His every action and word had considerable consequence. Fang Zheng, Bai Ningbing. Shang Yanfei's eyes were glowing with a bright light. After settling Shang Yizi's case, this matter was not over. Shang Yizi was a young master of Shang clan, but was schemed by 2 young outsiders. This was not respecting Shang clan. In him Shang Yanfei. Shang Yizi is after all my second son. Is my son someone you guys can just toy with? Although Fang and Bai had once saved Shang Xinci, family was still family. In Shang Yanfei's heart, his bloodline was closer. Thus, he willed. A bright red paper crane goo flew out. Scheming against my son, as his father, I will have to take revenge for him. This is the punishment for you too, but it is also a test. Shang Yanfei muttered. The paper crane goo's speed was extremely fast, entering a secret room. The clan leader has sent a letter. Clan leader wants us to forcefully challenge Fang Zheng and Bai Ningbing. In the secret room, there were 2 people. One was tall as a tower, the other was thin like a matchstick. Both of them looked at this letter and each other wordlessly. It was the rank 4 Gu masters Zhu Kaibei and Yin too. Weren't they at odds? If outsiders saw them sitting peacefully together, discussing matters, their jaws might drop. Both of them were rank 4 initial stage, dominating the battle stage as they competed against each other. They both swore that they will not leave the battle stage unless they defeat the other, but the truth is, they were Shang Yanfei's secret pawn pieces. Shang clan had rules. Any Gu master who dominates the battle stage and reach Wei Yang's level would be promoted to an external clan elder in Shang clan. Zhu Kaibei and Yin 2 were Shang Yinfei's way of controlling the battle stage. Chapter 312. Rank 3 Peak Stage once again. Ninshio Garden, Secret Room. The room was covered with darkness. The only source of light was a thin ray of starlight that was flowing like water towards the center of the room. At the center, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were sitting cross-legged on mats. Bai Ningbing's palms were placed on Fang Yuan's back. She was transferring rank 3 peak stage snow silver primeval essence to Fang Yuan. It was completely silent in the secret room. However, in Fang Yuan's heart, waves continued to surge, rumble. A snow silver waterfall, chilly and majestic, came crashing down into Fang Yuan's primeval sea from his aperture. It was the rank 3 peak stage snow silver primeval essence that had gone through bone flesh unity goo. Rank 3 goo master's primeval essence was silver. Initial stage primeval essence only had a thin layer of silver color, thus was called light silver primeval essence. Middle stage had varying amounts of silver color, some a lot and some little, thus was called blossom silver primeval essence. Upper stage primeval essence was shining silver, thus was called bright silver primeval essence. Peak stage primeval essence was snow white silver, a magnificent sight, and was called snow silver primeval essence. Right now, Fang Yuan was using snow silver primeval essence as the primary force and blossom silver primeval essence as supplementary. Under his control, they formed surging waves and continually cleansed the aperture walls. The aperture that was originally a water membrane, with light flowing as water, was shaking. After the cleansing process went for a while, the quantitative change accumulated to become a qualitative change. Light poured out of the water membrane, and just like water freezing into ice, it no longer moved, settling down to form stone membrane. The stone membrane was radiant and glorious, and was even thicker and more stable than the water membrane. With the formation of stone membrane, Fang Yuan advanced from rank 3 middle stage to rank 3 upper stage, building a stable foundation. Success will come naturally. Since the cultivation was finished, Bai Ningbing slowly withdrew her hands, her blue pupils fluctuating with emotions, with her help. Fang Yuan's cultivation had advanced rapidly and was finally catching up with her step by step. She knew Fang Yuan still had a white silver relic goo on him. He had not used it and was saving it for this moment. That is to say, after tonight, Fang Yuan's cultivation would advance to rank 3 peak stage, at the same level as her. This guy is a cunning fox and is extremely treacherous. Although I haven't found any flaws in the poison vow, that doesn't mean there are no flaws within the poison vow. Bai Ningbing was silent, but her thoughts kept on moving rapidly. Shang Yizi's downfall was a grim reminder. The mental pressure Fang Yuan was giving her was becoming bigger and bigger, and now she was starting to have some doubts. Don't worry. I am sincere in cooperating with you. There are no problems with the poison vow. As if he knew what Bai Ningbing was thinking, Fang Yuan suddenly opened his mouth. Humph. Having her thoughts exposed, Bai Ningbing's eyes revealed a trace of chill and said with cold irony, I hope so. Fang Yuan heaved a sigh. He had already expected Bai Ningbing's reaction when he planned against Shang Yizi. Everything had its merits and demerits. Now, Shang Yizi was removed from his position, leaving a young master's seat vacant, and gave an opportunity for Shang Xinci to advance. However, this created a crack in Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's collaboration. At the same time, it also forced Shang Yinfei to make his move. Just yesterday, Zhu Kaibei and Yin 2 had issued forced challenge towards Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing at the same time. Once the news spread, it immediately caused a huge commotion in the battle stage and attracted countless people's attention. Zhu Kaibei and Yin 2 were both rank 4 initial stage Gu Masters and were also called half the sky of the battle stage. With 2 half skies cooperating, they became the entire sky. These nicknames give a clear description of their status and strength. Fang and Bai were the 2 rising stars of the battle stage. They were dazzling, winning all their matches without a single loss. Such strength was rarely seen in the battle stage, even in the past. Zhu Kaibei and Yin 2 were the 2 heroes of battle stage, standing proudly at the summit. These few years, there were many Gu masters who wanted to stand out and become an external elder of the Shang clan. But they were stopped by these 2 and lost their hopes of advancing. But now, these 2 jointly challenged Fang and Bai, naturally making everyone curious and also doubtful. Someone said Fang and Bai were advancing too strongly, causing the seniors Zhu Kaibei and Yin 2 to feel uneasy, and thus they were going to eliminate this problem early. Another said, Zhu and Yin made a bet. and were using Fang and Bai to determine victory or defeat. Almost no one thought Fang and Bai had the chance of winning against these two. The formidable strength of Zhu Kaibei and Yin Tu was already deeply engraved in people's hearts. Even more importantly, one side was rank 4 Gu Masters, while the other side was rank 3 Gu Masters. There was a huge difference between their levels. As Gu Master advanced to higher ranks, the difference between each realm gets bigger and fighting across ranks become extremely difficult. From behind, there was the sound of Bai Ningbing standing up. Tomorrow is the match between you and Yin Tu. How are your preparations going? Do you need my heavenly essence treasure lotus? According to our vow, I will do my best to help you. Fang Yuan slowly spoke from the darkness. No need. Bai Ningbing coldly replied. Fang Yuan was sitting cross-legged. He said without turning around. You are really confident. So what if he is rank 4? In these 2 years, you are not the only one who improved. Bai Ningbing turned around and left. Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus was Fang Yuan's. It would not represent Bai Ningbing's true strength. She wanted to check her progress using the match with Yin Tuesday. The door to the secret room opened and closed. After Bai Ningbing left, the corner of Fang Yuan's lips slightly raised into a smile. Rejecting Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, it seems a trace of self-doubt has grown in her heart. This insecurity is very small. Maybe she herself might not be aware of it. Bai Ningbing, you are still too inexperienced. Fang Yuan muttered before organizing his cluttered thoughts. He took out white-silver relic goo. This goo was like a round pearl and was white-silver in color, with the size of a finger. Since rebirth, Fang Yuan had seen it once on Qingmao Mountain. It was during the Jia clan's caravan. The white-silver relic goo was priced at 50,000 primeval stones. It was an unattainable dream for Fang Yuan at that time. The series of relic goo were extremely expensive. After all, with one use, they could raise a Gu Master's cultivation by a small realm, saving a lot of time and energy. At the same time, they provided a stable foundation and did not have any side dash effects. Gu worms were bought to be used. Fang Yuan did not have any hesitation in activating white-silver relic goo immediately. Dazzling and magnificent lights shone upon the aperture walls. About 4 hours later, Fang Yuan had leaped from rank 3 upper stage to rank 3 peak stage. Since rebirth, I have once again reached rank 3 peak stage. Fang Yuan's eyes shone brilliantly and he could not help but clench his fists. His heart surged with emotions and joy.it was different from the time on Qingmao Mountain. Fang Yuan had used stone aperture goo at that time and paid a disastrous price of losing his future prospects to advance to rank 3 peak stage. This time, Fang Yuan advanced to rank 3 peak stage while retaining his enormous potential for development. After all, he has a great aptitude now. Looking at the spring-autumn cicada, after recuperating for over 2 years, its condition was recovering at a rapid speed. Its withered body was gradually becoming glossy. The wings that were dried up like dead leaves now had a layer of green that was full of life energy. Its recovery naturally caused great pressure on Fang Yuan's aperture, however, compared to the previous time. Fang Yuan's cultivation was rising rapidly because of Bai Ningbing and Bone Flesh Unity Goo. His rank 3 peak stage aperture was still enough to bear this pressure. The situation had been truly pressing back at Qingmao Mountain. But now Fang Yuan was handling this with ease. But I cannot relax yet. Spring-autumn cicada's recovery gets faster and faster. My cultivation speeds needs to surpass it. Otherwise, the same situation will happen again. Time quietly passed and soon it was the next day. The audiences were all waiting for the battle between Bai Ningbing and Yin Tuesday. There were green grass all over this supersized battle stage. This was a grass terrain and was very commonly seen at northern plains. A crowd of spectating Gu Masters had formed a circle around the battle stage, all of their gazes landing on the two protagonists on the battle stage. The match had not started, but the people were already commenting. Everything is against Bai Ningbing this time. Facing Lord Yin Tu, she is certain to lose. She is as beautiful as a fairy. It really makes people sympathize with her. Just thinking about her suffering a defeat breaks my heart into pieces. In the course of over a year, Bai Ningbing had earned an impressive reputation, receiving strong publicity. Her appearance and temperament that was like a snow fairy got her a huge amount of attention. On the stage, Bai Ningbing and Yin Tu stood opposite each other. Yin Tu was an old man and had a head full of unkempt and long hair. He was thin like a stick and his legs were bare. Whether it was his fingernails or toenails, they had not been cut for a long time and were long and crooked. He was wearing rags and had a hunchback, like an old beggar on the roadside. He, little girl, you have such smooth skin. you are really beautiful. Yin Tu sized up Bai Ningbing and said with a hoarse voice. Wearing a white robe, the blue pupils and silver hair, Bai Ningbing immediately frowned, killing intent filling her heart. Old geezer, stop your shamelessness. Little girl, you have no manners. Yin Tu laughed dryly, his 10 fingers rubbing each other. It seems I have to teach you how important it is to respect your seniors. Pointless banner. Bai Ningbing had a cool expression, her gaze cold as ice as she stared at Yin Tu, her every movement containing vigorous fighting spirit. Ding. The sound of the bell signaled the start of the match. Icicle goo. Fire pellet goo. Almost at the same time. Bai Ningbing and Yin Tu made their moves. 4 white icicles and 3 balls of fire pellets shot towards one another. Bang. An icicle and a fire pellet collided in midair. The icicle melted, but the fire pellet still flew towards Bai Ningbing. Just that its power had greatly fallen. Bai Ningbing's icicle goo was only rank 2, while Yin Tu's fire pellet goo was rank 3. Naturally, fire pellet was a notch above the icicle. I can only suppress the fire pellet if I use ice explosion goo to detonate the icicles. However, my primeval essence will be greatly expended if I do that. This battle had just started. Bai Ningbing's blue pupils flashed with an eerie light. She jumped agilely and dodged the fire pellets, causing them to miss their target. At the same time, she waved her hand. Wish. 3 icicles flew towards Yin Tuesday. Yin Tu gave a dry laugh. He took a step forward and twisted his body, dodging the icicles with a weird body posture as he began running at the same time. His index finger repeatedly pointed and balls of fire pellets formed into a dense attack as they engulfed Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing coldly snorted. Not to be outdone, she also repeatedly stomped and struck back with icicles. For a moment, the two kept on contesting against each other while running around the big grassland. Icicles and fire pellets flew, the two dodged and attacked without stopping. The match had just begun, but its intensity had already surpassed everyone's expectations. Chapter 313, Bai Ningbing vs. Yin Tu. Time slowly passed. The spectators were gradually moved by the match. To think Bai Ningbing is actually so strong, being able to fight so evenly against Lord Yin Tuesday. She is using rank 2 icicle goo against Yin Tu, but isn't at a disadvantage. Being able to use goo worms to attack properly while moving is basic in goo master battles, but Bai Ningbing is executing it perfectly. No doubt, Bai Ningbing is a genius and her foundation is also extremely sturdy. No wonder she has not been defeated till now. Fang Yuan was among the crowd and was watching the match calmly. Wei Yang and Shang Xinci had also come and were standing beside him. The three were in disguise, hiding among the crowd. Bai Ningbing is fighting very forcefully, even though she is using icicle goo. Once the numbers of icicles go up, her primeval essence consumption will also go up. Wei Yang was worried. There is a difference between the primeval essence of rank 3 and rank 4. But Yin Tu is similarly using fire pellet goo, and his primeval essence is also continuously depleting. He might be rank 4, but he only has B grade aptitude. Bai Ningbing is using the primeval essence recovery speed of her A grade aptitude to contend Yin Tu's rank 4 cultivation. Fang Yuan understood Bai Ningbing's battle tactic with one glance. If that is so, then this will be an uphill battle for Bai Ningbing. Shang Xinci exclaimed. Now, she was also a goo master. With Shang Yinfei's careful teachings, her vision was expanded and she could see through a lot of things. As the three conversed, the situation on the battle stage suddenly took a turn. Little girl, you really like jumping around. Yin Tu's lips curled into a smile that did not resemble a smile. He suddenly raised his right hand and grabbed towards Bai Ningbing from dozens of steps away. As his right hand made a clawing motion, the imprint of a goo worm on his palm flashed. Whoosh! There was the sound of flames blazing, and in a blink of an eye, a giant fiery claw formed and flew towards Bai Ningbing. The giant claw only had 3 fingers, looking like an eagle's claw, except it was orange-red. Flames were scorching, and even before the claw reached her, Bai Ningbing could already feel the intense heat. This was a rank 3 fiery claw goo. Bai Ningbing immediately used her movement goo to increase her speed and pull apart some distance between them. She had already inquired about the information on Yin Tu and made preparations. She knew this fiery claw's attack range was smaller than fire pellets. It could only move several meters away from Yin Tuesday. However, Yin Tu cackled and used his movement goo as well, quickly closing in on Bai Ningbing. His movement goo was rank 4 and had superior effects compared to Bai Ningbing's. Thus, not only was Bai Ningbing not able to widen their distance, Yin Tu was getting closer instead. The fiery claw continuously descended on her and made grabbing motions. It was difficult for Bai Ningbing to evade the fiery claw as it was quick and stable under Yin Tu's skilled manipulation. Bai Ningbing's situation was becoming more miserable as she repeatedly rolled on the grassland. Boom. The fiery claw brushed past Bai Ningbing's shoulder and fell on the grassland, immediately setting that part of the grassland on fire. The flames blazed furiously and started spreading. Yin Tu willed it, and the fiery claw once again rose from within the flames. It was just that it looked less threatening than when it had just been summoned. However, with a slight decrease in Yin Tu's primeval sea level, the fiery claw instantly regained its splendor, wiping away all sluggishness. Frost Arrow Goo. Bai Ningbing regained her footing and stretched out her little finger. Frost Arrow Goo was residing in it and had formed a blue tattoo. A ball of icy blue vapor condensed. In a blink of an eye, the frost vapor formed into an arrow. The arrow struck the fiery claw and suppressed its imposing flames. Frost Arrow Goo was a rank 4 goo bought by Bai Ningbing during the auction. It immediately established its dominance once used. The fiery claw looked like it was about to be extinguished. Yin Tu slightly furrowed his brows, then without considering the expenditure, he poured in primeval essence and the fiery claw showed signs of recovering. However, how could Bai Ningbing let him do as he wanted? Whoosh whoosh whoosh, she activated Icicle Goo, and at the same time, secretly activated Ice Explosion Goo. Bang! The icicles exploded as they struck the fiery claw. The violent explosion completely extinguished the fiery claw. Fiery claw Goo flew back. Yin Tu did not want to lose it, so he immediately took several steps and used his hand to catch the fiery claw Goo as it turned back into an imprint. Bai Ningbing did not miss this chance. She formed 2 long ice blades, dual-wielding them as she slashed towards Yin Tuesday before the blades reached his body. Yin Tu felt the intense killing intent blowing at his face like an icy wind. That's a good blade. Yin Tu gave a weird smile and then suddenly snorted. 2 fiery snakes flew out of his nose. The fiery snakes were initially only the size of a necklace but rapidly expanded, and in the blink of an eye, changed into 2 large pythons that were several meters long and had the width of a bucket. A fiery snake moved ahead in front of Bai Ningbing and blocked Bai Ningbing's 2 blades, while the other fiery snake wriggled around from the side to the back of Bai Ningbing and started its attacks. They appeared, Lord Yin Tu's twin snake attack. Sigh, I was defeated by this move. Yin Tu's control over the 2 snakes is really exquisite. The opponent is left unable to defend against both. They are really difficult to deal with. The blazing snakes caused an uproar in the audience. Bai Ningbing's expression was solemn. The fighting intent in her blue pupils gathered into ice. The fiery snakes gave her a tremendous pressure, but this instead stimulated her fighting spirit even further. Bai Ningbing wielded her 2 blades and fought the 2 fiery snakes while Yin Tu stood outside the range of the battle and manipulated the snakes. Yin Tu was able to use his mind to do 3 tasks at once. Although he was only controlling 2 fiery snakes now, the movement was exquisite and the control was precise. This instead caused him to expend more of his mental energy. Fiery snake Goo was a rank 4 Goo, and under the pincer attack from 2 rank 4 Goo, Bai Ningbing was slowly falling into a disadvantage. She was finding it more and more difficult to defend against the attacks. After all, her movement Goo and defensive Goo were not outstanding. Bai Ningbing was an offense-type Goo master, and her Goo set placed attack as the main priority, while movement and defense were on the weaker side. There was nothing she could do about this. Goo master's primeval essence had a limit, and was not infinite. Thus, one needed to allocate the use of their primeval essence properly. Bai Ningbing proportioned most of her primeval essence into the attack aspect, while the primeval essence left for movement and defense were relatively lower. Because of this, the movement Goo and defensive Goo she assembled were the Goo which consumed less primeval essence. The Goo worms that consumed less primeval essence were naturally slightly less effective. After all, you get what you pay for. These 2 fiery snakes are restricting Bai Ningbing's options. Just look, if the fiery snakes gets damaged from Bai Ningbing's attacks, Yin Tu will just expend his primeval essence and heal them. It won't be good if this continues. Wei Yang stood beside the stage, his brows furrowed. Fang Yuan's gaze flashed. He didn't speak but was looking forward to Bai Ningbing's response. Bai Ningbing suddenly burst out with attacks. She used Frost Breath Goo and Frost Arrow Goo one after another. The continuous Frost Aura slowed and restrained the fiery snake's offense. However, this barrage of attacks sharply increased her primeval essence expenditure. Little girl, stop struggling. Yin Tu laughed and shot out balls of fire pellets. Some of these fire pellets shot towards Bai Ningbing, forcing her to dodge and waste her energy. The other pellets shot towards the fiery snakes and fused into them, causing the weakened fiery snakes to become even more vigorous. This was the combination battle tactic of fire pellet goo and fiery snake goo. Yin Tu had refined and perfected this tactic after having gone through hundreds of battles at the battle stage. Compared to him, although Bai Ningbing had the talent, was smart, and had high comprehension, the time she had spent was too short and did not have as much accumulated experience. As Yin Tuesday, Bai Ningbing wanted to make explosive attacks and defeat the two fiery snakes, but this was seen through by Yin Tu, and he immediately struck back, thwarting Bai Ningbing's attempt and displaying his shrewdness as well as his experience. How's she going to deal with this? Wei Yang's brows were tightly knitted. The situation is not looking good. Shang Xinci also slowly analyzed the match. Bai Ningbing's dark blue pupils flashed with a decisive light. Ice crystal goo. She used her vital goo, her true trump card. She had not intended to use it this early, but she could do nothing about it. Since the match started, besides the deadlock at the start, Yin Tu was gradually gaining the initiative and suppressing her. Bai Ningbing was an attack-type goo master, if she wanted to take back the initiative, she had to increase her offense even more. Creak. Bai Ningbing's whole body emitted creaking sounds like water freezing into ice. In a blink of an eye, she changed into a humanoid ice crystal. Her body slightly expanded and her silver hair was covered with frost, becoming rigid. Ice crystals spread towards the two ice blades, making them sharper, colder, and even more firm. Oh, little girl, you're going all out now? Yin Tu spoke, but soon his smile froze on his face. Bai Ningbing's whole body turned into ice crystals and had no more hesitation as her attack and defense had integrated into one. She directly charged through the fiery snake's attacks, heading towards Yin Tu. Shoot a horseman, first shoot his horse. To catch bandits, first catch their ringleader. Yin Tu immediately mobilized another fiery snake and blocked Bai Ningbing. Frost breath goo. Bai Ningbing breathed out blue frost. In her ice form, the frost aura that she breathed out was of a higher level. The fiery snake immediately shrunk from this frost breath aura. Bai Ningbing continued to charge towards Yin Tu. Old man Yin Tu, come fight with me if you have guts. Yin Tu turned grave. He did not specialize in close combat. Bai Ningbing's might was awe-inspiring. He would definitely be in trouble if he fought with her in close combat. He might be at rank 4 and walk the powerful fire path. But Yin Tu's fighting style was hit and run, and because of his shrewd nature, he was not incited by Bai Ningbing's remarks and started retreating with his movement goo. Bai Ningbing's heart sank. Her body had turned into that of ice crystals, so her movement goo was less effective than before. She would have to slow down Yin Tu if she wanted to catch up to him. Thereupon, Bai Ningbing repeatedly shot out frost arrows. The cold, frosty aura of the frost arrows had the effect of freezing muscles and blood, thus slowing down the target's movement. However, Yin Tu easily dodged with his superb technique. None of the frost arrows landed on him. The frost arrows could not hit Yin Tu, causing the distance between Bai Ningbing and him to become larger. Yin Tu laughed coldly. He felt no embarrassment while being chased by a junior. He made the best judgment. Ice crystal goo could not be used frequently. If it was used for longer periods of time, it could cause the user to completely change into ice crystal and become an ice sculpture. Thus, Bai Ningbing used vitality goo at the same time as ice crystal goo to maintain her life force. However, even vitality goo could only prolong the time the ice crystal goo could be used. Yin Tu knew this clearly. Bai Ningbing had investigated him. He had also investigated Bai Ningbing. As long as he prolonged this match, victory would be his for certain. Although such a method did not display even a little of the dominance of fire path goo masters, this was no doubt the most optimal tactic. Bai Ningbing stopped. I'm not able to strike this old guy. Only that move can change the situation now. Her eyes flashed with a trace of hesitation. Should I use this move or not? Chapter 314. Victory and Loss, Double Chapter. Bai Ningbing hesitated for only a second before her blue eyes shone with decisive light. Ice Blade Storm, reappear once more. Bai Ningbing sighed softly. She raised her arms, sharp ice blades acting as an extension of her arms. Her ice crystal form gave a grim domineering aura. Vitality goo gave out a warm current and flowed through her heart, liver, and other organs, maintaining a part of her life force and preventing Bai Ningbing from completely turning into ice crystal. Vitality goo had another advantage, that is once activated, it turned into a warm current filled with vitality and moved by itself. There was no need consciously control it. Swirl goo, tornado goo. By Ningbing successively used these two goo. Swirl goo was a movement goo that increased the goo master's turning speed. Now that it was activated, Bai Ningbing's whole body started rotating rapidly, and the activation of tornado goo immediately created a whirlwind. The whirlwind covered Bai Ningbing and in a few seconds, enlarged into a tornado. The dark blue tornado was like a young blue dragon rising into the air. Ice edge goo, ice crystal goo, swirl goo, and tornado goo. Bai Ningbing was using her mind to do 4 tasks at once. No, it was still not over. Frost breath goo. Bai Ningbing exhaled and frost aura instantly pervaded her surroundings. With her mortal flesh body, she could only activate frost breath goo in intervals to prevent her mouth and tongue from freezing. However, after turning into ice crystal, she could continuously breathe out the frost breath. The frost aura mixed into the tornado, changing it into an icy tornado. The wind blew everywhere. Grass was sent flying. A light blue icy frost formed on the grassland. At this moment, Bai Ningbing was doing 5 tasks at once. This was the talent of the 10 extreme physique that could look down upon the world. On this aspect, Bai Ningbing had already surpassed Fang Yuan. The killer move appeared again, Ice Blade Storm. Cold wind rose, and the temperature in the surroundings drastically fell. The sharp ice blades gave the tornado even more power. The 2 fiery snakes ignorantly charged towards the tornado and suffered severe injuries. The snakeheads as well as most of their bodies were cut down by the icy storm. The fiery snakes hurriedly retreated. Flames merged into them, as the snakeheads and their bodies were formed again. But their bodies were not even half the size of before. The icy storm was increasing in power. Large amounts of frost spread over the grassland. The parts of the grassland that were burning were already showing signs of extinguishing because of the frost. Yin Tu's eyes shrunk at this sight, and he recalled the fiery snakes back into his nose. What move is this? I have never seen Bai Ningbing use this move. Killer move. This is absolutely a killer move. The audiences were thrown into a commotion as they started discussing loudly. Even Wei Yang showed an amazed look. Such an extremely powerful killer move. How many goo did Bai Ningbing use for this attack? Shang Xinc's gaze were nervous and expectant. This move is so strong, she might be able to win against Yin Tuesday. Fang Yuan was silent as he concentrated on the match. He had already seen Bai Ningbing use Ice Blade Storm before, but the power of the Ice Blade Storm now had jumped to a whole new level. Bai Ningbing's growth was astonishing. She had exceptional aptitude and talent, combined with her goo set. She was a unique goo master. Looking at it now, she had not discarded her meticulously designed killer move, Ice Blade Storm, but instead improved it. You still had such a trump card left. Yin Tu was no longer calm. The moment the Ice Blade Storm appeared, he lost a bit of his confidence. His heart started to palpitate rapidly. He was actually getting such a feeling from a junior, a rank 3 goo master. Bai Ningbing's strength surpassed Yin Tu's expectations and caused him to feel an intense threat. Killer move, often formed by using several goo worms at once, through meticulous pairing. An extremely strong move is born. A killer move was not something all goo masters possessed. Only those with plentiful experiences or great talent could develop their killer moves. Killer's moves often consumed a lot of primeval essence and was very taxing on the mind, but their might were no doubt formidable beyond imagination. This is not good. This move is getting stronger. I have to suppress it early. If I let it grow and accumulate momentum, it will truly be unstoppable. Yin Tu was a veteran with great experience and soon saw a weakness. If it were other goo masters, most of them would be scared witless and choose to watch the change quietly. However, Yin Tu was extremely shrewd and saw through this killer move's weakness. It will be difficult to restrain her with ordinary moves. I will just be wasting primeval essence. Since it is so, I shall use my killer move against her killer move. Yin Tu resolved himself. Fuel oil goo. He opened his mouth wide and spurted out large amounts of fuel oil. The amber-colored fuel oil gave a pungent odor. Yin Tu used all his strength in activating the fuel oil goo, not daring to have the slightest of reservation. The fuel oil poured out like a small waterfall onto the grassland and became waves. The fuel oil waves submerged the whole battlefield within seconds. Ice Blade Storm was getting bigger and bigger, the cold aura spreading further. The fuel oil's momentum immediately slowed down as it approached the storm, as large amounts of oil was sent flying. Ice Blade Storm had explosive power, but the coldness was not enough to freeze the fuel oil. At once, fuel oil rained down on the whole battlefield. Besides the vicinity of the Ice Blade Storm, a thick layer of fuel oil covered all the other areas of the grassland. almost forming a swamp. Fiery snake goo. Yin 2 snorted, and the earlier two fiery snakes appeared again. 20% of yellow gold primeval essence was spent to let the fiery snakes get back to their peak size and power once more. The fiery snakes landed on the ground and immediately created blazing flames. The red flames quickly spread, as the whole battle stage instantly changed into a sea of fire. The flames blazed intensely on the grassland. The green grass wilted and turned into ashes, which then further fueled the growth of the blazing fire. Only one place remained safe from the fire in the supersized battle stage, and was instead frozen in ice. That was where Bai Ningbing's ice blade storm was at. She and Yin 2 had changed the grassy terrain into one of ice and fire, the clash of two extremes. The two fire snakes moved in the sea of fire with joy, circling the rotating ice blade storm, and were not in a hurry to attack. Bai Ningbing's ice blade storm was also continuously enlarging and accumulating in power. The top of the tornado had already changed into a dome-shaped form due to the constant movement. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The icy tornado created violent sounds and gave a majestic aura, causing the audience to smack their lips in anticipation. I'm not done yet. Fiery claw goo. Yin 2 suddenly shouted. He had 4 fiery claws goo on him, and right now he sent them all out. His primeval essence took a severe hit. The primeval sea in his aperture rapidly fluctuated as the brilliant golden sea level fell sharply. The 4 fiercey claw goo did not charge towards the ice blade storm. Instead, they flew towards the fiery snakes and merged. In an instant, the 2 fiery snakes grew a pair of claws. Snakes with claws were no longer snakes but dragons. The 2 fiery dragons flew with their heads high in the sea of fire, brandishing their claws and revealing a defiant aggressiveness. Lord Yin 2 has combined fiery snake goo and fiery claw goo to display a portion of the might of the rank 5 fiery dragon goo. To think that in this match, we would get to see Lord Yin 2's killer move, Fire Sea Twin Dragon Kill. Bai Ningbing is just a newbie. She can be proud of herself, being able to force Yin 2 into using his killer move. The audiences were all excited at this scene. Both sides brought out their killer moves. The battle had suddenly reached the climax. Killer move versus killer move. Would the winner be Yin 2's Fire Sea Twin Dragon Kill with its huge and majestic power? Or would it be Bai Ningbing's world-engulfing ice blade storm that will beat half the sky of the battle stage? Everyone fixed their gaze on the battle stage, waiting in anticipation. The fiery dragons raised their heads and let out a soundless hiss before pouncing forward from 2 sides. The fiery dragons struck the icy storm, tearing at it with their fiery claws. Their entire body coiled around the icy storm. The white and blue ice storm was like a huge pillar, standing straight against the attacks. The sharp ice blades clashed against the fiery claws and continuously slashed the fiery dragons' bodies. After some time, the 2 fiery dragons could no longer endure it and retreated. They submerged into the sea of fire and absorbed the flames, immediately recovering their power. The grassland was burning. This overflowing inferno provided enough replenishment for the fiery dragons. Yin 2 had fully used this grassland. The 2 fiery dragons attacked again and were defeated each time. After the defeat, they would attack again relentlessly. Fire Sea Twin Dragon Kill can't push down Bai Ningbing? Is the sky collapsing? If this goes on, Bai Ningbing has hope of winning against Yin 2. The audience were amazed again and again. No, Ice Blade Storm has been restrained. The wind flow has been forcefully cut and can't accumulate more power. Bai Ningbing should start moving and start kiting her opponent. Wei Ying's expression was grave. His specialty in battle was kiting. Fang Yuan's brows slightly furrowed. An obscure light flashed in his eyes. He could tell something was wrong. With Bai Ningbing's wisdom, she definitely knew that she could not resist it head-on and should fight while moving. However, she did not do that. It seems this killer move is still imperfect. Fang Yuan inwardly speculated. Right now, Bai Ningbing was powerless to dictate her movement. This was the first time she's used the revised Ice Blade Storm in battle. She had planned it well, but now she discovered a serious problem. The Ice Blade Storm lacked a forward momentum. It could only rotate on the spot. This was truly an unspeakable embarrassment. I changed into ice crystal form and continuously used frost breath. Now the tornado has become too dense, and there is no way I can move forward. Bai Ningbing used all her effort to activate her movement goo to change this situation. However, she was already doing 5 tasks at once, and this was her limit. Her mind was already stretched to its limit and did not have any spare energy left. Fortunately, Yin 2 had still not discovered this. He took the initiative to attack to block Bai Ningbing from accumulating more power, but this instead helped her to cover this fault. There is only one method left now, to continue walking down this desperate path. Continue to expand the ice blade storm. Maybe the wind flow will become strong enough to move it. Bai Ningbing's fighting spirit had not disappeared. This predicament instead bolstered it. However, whether it was her or Yin Tu, both of their primeval essence were sharply decreasing. The audience had also fallen into silence. The majestic ice blade storm and the terrifying orange sea of fire divided the battle stage into completely different terrains. The barrier around the battle stage isolated most of the power, but wind still blew out. This wind was sometimes hot and sometimes cold, giving the audience a personal experience of the intensity of the battle. The sea of fire blazed. The two orange fiery dragons shook the ice blade storm. They were defeated again and again, but charged forward each time, advancing without losing their spirits. This is the strength of Lord Yin Tu, the power of a rank 4 Gu master. Someone sighed. Being able to fight Lord Yin Tu to this extent, Bai Ningbing can be said to be the third strongest in the battle stage. Someone commented with a visible shock on his face. In the battle stage, Yin Tu and Zhu Kaibei had fought dozens of battles, but a clear winner had not been determined. They were the strongest two in the battle stage. Through this battle, Bai Ningbing's battle strength was also recognized by the people and was regarded as third strongest. Time passed by minutes and seconds. The ice blade storm gradually slowed down as the wind flow decreased. Meanwhile, the blazing inferno was also mostly extinguished. The fuel oil was expended and the green grass had all turned into ashes. However, the fiery dragons were mighty as before. They not only had the replenishment from the sea of fire, but also the support of Yin Tu's yellow-gold primeval essence. Bai Ningbing's primeval essence gradually became insufficient in supporting her expenditure at this stage. The gap between the cultivation levels was clearly shown. If she had the heavenly essence treasure lotus, she could still have the strength to fight on. Unfortunately, she refused Fang Yuan's good intent. It is over. Yin Tu laughed, and with a shift of his mind, the two fiery dragons suddenly merged into one, forming an even larger fiery dragon. This change made many people involuntarily gasp in surprise. This move was Yin Tu's secret move and had never been revealed. But now he no longer cared about secrecy in order to pierce Bai Ningbing's ice blade storm. The fiery dragon opened its mouth. The four fiery claws waved together and ruthlessly clawed at the ice blade storm. But suddenly, the storm exploded. Bai Ningbing furiously activated Frost Breath Goo and froze all of the fiery claws. Ice blade storm suddenly inflated and engulfed most of the fiery dragon's body like a monster. What? Yin Tu turned pale with fright. He suddenly realized that the weakening earlier was only Bai Ningbing's pretense. He immediately willed the fiery dragon to retreat. The fiery dragon suffered serious injuries. Its might had diminished. It lost 2 fiery claws, and its size also decreased to less than half. The audiences immediately rose in uproar at this. Is Bai Ningbing going to win? They had been fighting intensely for so long, but she actually has energy left? Yin Tu's expression was grave. Bai Ningbing's sudden attack inflicted a disastrous damage to him. In an instant, he had lost a fiery snake goo and 2 fiery claw goo. The ice blade storm suddenly dispersed completely. Bai Ningbing revoked the ice crystal goo and returned to her original mortal body. She had used up her primeval essence. Her aperture was completely dry. I admit defeat, she coldly announced. There was a temporary silence, but the whole battle stage erupted in an uproar next. Bai Ningbing was admitting defeat. The audience had not expected this. She should have exhausted all her primeval essence when she used that final explosion to inflict heavy losses to Yin Tuesday. Fang Yuan realized. Even if I cannot win, I will make you feel worse. Bai Ningbing's choice was sensible and she did it decisively and ruthlessly. After realizing this, Yin Tu was furious, but a formless force pressed down from above and suppressed him. He could not move. This was the ability of the battle stage. The hosting Gu master walked into the battle stage that had changed beyond recognition and announced the result. According to the rules, the winner has the right to demand the loser to hand over a Gu. I want your ice crystal Gu, Yin Tu said with hatred. Take it. Bai Ningbing coldly snorted and handed over the ice crystal Gu. The two completed the transfer on the spot. Ice crystal Gu was Bai Ningbing's vital Gu. The moment she lost it, blood flowed out from her 7 orifices. Yin Tu's expression was still unsightly. He had chosen ice crystal Gu to teach Bai Ningbing a lesson. But even so, his losses were much greater. A rank 3 ice crystal Gu could not cover his losses. After this battle, Bai Ningbing might have lost, but it established her fame. One could say she had gone down in flying colors. Shang Xinci let out a breath of turbid air and calmed down her mind. It is a pity. If Bai Ningbing had listened to my advice and chose Frost Demon Goo at that time, the situation would have been much better. Wei Yang lamented. Ice Crystal Goo is suitable for men while Frost Demon Goo is suitable for women. Bai Ningbing lost Ice Crystal Goo. Maybe this is a chance for her to choose Frost Demon Goo. Wei Yang said with an expectant tone. Chapter 315, Hard Chi Goo. Did you see that battle? It was really splendid. Bai Ningbing suffered her first defeat, and Yin Tu's victory was also not easy. My heart ached when I spent 20 primeval stones to watch the battle, but after the match, I feel that it was truly worth it. Bai Ningbing and Yin Tu's battle was like a boulder falling into the lake, the ripples spreading all over Shang Clan City. In every street, people were discussing the match. Old Ginger is hotter than young Ginger. Lord Yin Tu won in the end. But Bai Ningbing lost gloriously. Fighting to that level, it shows that her future is limitless. It is so unfortunately that I couldn't see that match. Bai Ningbing might have lost her vital goo and suffered a backlash, but Ice Crystal Goo is easy find. This will not have too big of an influence on her. I am now really looking forward to the match between Feng Zheng and Zhu Kai Bei. Right, that is sure to be a battle between dragon and tiger. The match between Fang Yuan and Zhu Kai Bei was scheduled 7 days later. And because of Bai Ningbing's outstanding performance, their match received countless attention. Bai Ningbing, however, went missing. After that match, she did not return to Nanxiu Garden. Did something happen to her? Shang Xinci was worried. Don't worry, I understand her. She has a very prideful nature. After suffering such a defeat, she needs some time alone. Fang Yuan comforted Shang Xinci. Bai Ningbing might have a female body, but her heart was that of a man. All men were like lions and wolves. When they received injuries, they would look for a secluded place and silently lick their wounds. Women were different. When they felt wronged, they would want to pour out their grievances. They thirst for protection and comfort. Shang Xinci nodded. Her beautiful and gentle eyes looked at Fang Yuan with concern. Is it possible to not fight? That Zhu Kai Bei is as famous as Yin Tuesday. Big sister Bai Yun lost and had to give up her Ice Crystal Goo. Zhu Kai Bei is a strength path Goo master. If big brother He Tu loses all-out effort Goo, Bai Ningbing lost Ice Crystal Goo, but it could be replenished. However, if Fang Yuan lost all-out effort Goo, he had no way to get another. Fang Yuan smiled. Precisely because of that, I cannot lose. All right. I will be secluded cultivation for a few days to refine a goo. You should go back first. Fang Yuan had already made inquiries on Zhu Kai Bei's strength. After the match of Bai Ningbing and Yin Tu, he was able to make even more conjectures that Zhu Kai Bei was a rank 4 initial stage Goo master and was equally matched with Yin Tuesday. Fang Yuan estimated he only had 30% chance of winning against Zhu Kai Bei with his current strength. 30% chance of victory did not look high. But in actuality, if you consider the gap between the two large realms, 30% was rather outstanding already. If I am successful in refining that goo, I will have 60% chance with its help. I can only hope that the refinement succeeds. Fang Yuan entered the secret room and began refining. First inner city. In a study room, bright and gentle lights were on. Shang Yanfei quietly looked at a ball of colorful smoke floating in the air. The colorful smoke churned and unfolded the scene of the match between Bai Ningbing and Yin Tuesday. Shang Yanfei watched this battle from start to finish and then put away the colorful smoke. Bai Ningbing had lost. She lost her vital goo and also suffered from backlash. According to the intel from Feng Yu Manor, Bai Ningbing was recuperating at Dr. Sushou's place. With this, she had received the punishment and a lesson for scheming against his second son. Shang Yanfei closed his eyes and leaned against the back of the chair. Bai Ningbing lost. She did not pass the test, but her innate gifts and talent were already recognized by the public. Given some time, she was certain to surpass Yin Tu and have great accomplishment. This was a true genius. Shang Yanfei cherished and was fond of talented people. Seeing Bai Ningbing's performance, he had an even greater desire to recruit her for Shang Xinci. Next, it is Fang Zheng's turn. I wonder what surprise he will give me. I heard he might have a heavenly essence treasure lotus. Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. There were 2 of these in Shang Clan City's living treasure door. There was also a Heavenly Essence Treasure Monarch Lotus as well. However, they would have to pay an even greater price to take out these treasure lotuses. Living Treasure Door guarded the treasures, and even Shang Yin Fei, the clan leader, had to comply with the rules set by his ancestors. Fang Zheng is a Strength Path Gu Master. Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus will not be able to show its true worth in his hands. It is better for XINCI to have it. Shang Yin Fei pondered for a while sitting upright. After thinking through, he sent out a paper crane's secret letter. The paper crane followed the dark path and flew inside a secret room. Ju Kai Bei and Yin Tu soon felt a reaction and gathered in the secret room. Master has sent a secret letter again. Yin Tu unfolded the secret letter, and after glancing at it, he gave it to Ju Kai Bei. "It is for you." Ju Kai Bei skimmed through the secret letter and muttered, "Master thinks Fang Yuan might have a Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. If I win this battle, he wants me to try and request for this grass goo. Furthermore, even if he doesn't have it, I am not allowed to choose all-out effort goo." Ju Kai Bei's brows furrowed after he read this. He had planned to demand Fang Yuan's all-out effort goo. This legendary goo was extremely attractive to a Strength Path Goo Master like him. Unfortunately, Shang Yin Fei sensed such a command. Master loves talents and wants to protect that Fang Zheng's growth. Yin Tu analyzed. He raised his head and looked at Ju Kai Bei's frown and mediated. "Brother Ju, take note of your mental state. We are the hidden elders of Shang Clan and must follow clan leaders' commands. Times are different from when we freely roamed the world and did whatever we wanted." Ju Kai Bei nodded his head solemnly and said with remembrance, "Those were memorable times. Walking in the world alone, free and unrestrained. Could it be Brother Ju is thinking of becoming a demonic Goo Master again?" Yin Tu's tone was solemn. Ju Kai Bei scoffed. "Brother Yin Tu, do you still not know me? It was just a casual remark. Demonic Goo Masters might be free and unrestrained, but the pressure and risks are huge. Their corpse might be found in the wild one day, and there wouldn't even be people to retrieve the corpse." Yin Tu's expression relaxed at this. Ju Kai Bei and Yin Tu were once solitary demonic Goo Masters. They had even made a name for themselves while roaming around southern border and had endured for 10 years. However, they were becoming tired as the time passed. Demonic Goo Masters lived extremely free lives, but there was a huge pressure on them. They would have to keep on worrying about the food for their goo, primeval stones, their own safety, and other things. The 2 were slowly fed up with such a life, but they did not have the courage to change their ways, until one day, when these 2 encountered each other in the wild. There was an extreme lack of trust between demonic Goo Masters. The moment these 2 noticed the other, they immediately attacked to ensure they held the initiative. Who would have imagined these 2 were evenly matched and fought from day to night? They used their intelligence, traps, and every kind of trick they knew with all their strength. When dawn arrived, the 2 did not have strength to continue their battle. Their primeval essence were fully expended, and their bodies were covered with wounds. They were both within each other's reach, but they did not have strength to make the final strike and kill the other. When the morning light shone on their faces, these 2 both made an identical decision. "I am tired of this life. Sai, if I can survive this battle, I will go to Shang Clan City and join the righteous path." Yin Tu softly mumbled, "I am so sick of it. After this battle, I will go to Shang Clan City and fight for that external elder's position." Ju Kai Bei fiercely cursed. They did not know why, but the 2 spoke at the same time. After they finished speaking, the 2 looked at each other. After a moment of silence, the 2 laughed heartily at the same time. This was fate. It was like heaven's will. On this day, 2 veteran demonic Goo Masters with not the least bit of trust gained a best friend for life. If they wanted to completely discard their past, they began changing and chose to trust each other. This trust was a trust without any reservations. The 2 went from one extremity to another extreme. Returning to the topic, Brother Yin Tu, you suffered great losses this time. You ended up in a pathetic state. Ju Kai Bei mocked, while winking. No outsider would imagine he could make such an expression. Normally, Ju Kai Bei was solemn as iron and was very meticulous. But in reality, this was only a mask he had worn when he was walking the demonic path. Only in front of Yin Tu, his best friend, did he display his true nature. Yin Tu coldly snorted. He sighed as his brows relaxed. This by Ning Bing is not simple. One day she will surpass us. I only won by a small margin. If she was rank 4, the battle could go either way. Zhu Kaibei nodded. I disguised myself to watch your match. It is indeed the rise of a younger generation. Yin Tu patted Zhu Kaibei's shoulder. That Fang Zheng is as famous as Bai Ningbing. They came to Shang Clan City together and also lives together. Their relation is definitely not normal. They are called the twin stars of the battle stage, and some people even call them the black and white demons. Bai Ningbing already has such strength. Fang Zheng definitely won't be any weaker. Brother Zhu, your strongest moment is also your weakest. You need to be careful. Zhu Kaibei proudly smiled. Brother, guess what this is? He took out a goo from his aperture. This goo was like a beetle. It was black as iron and was fist-sized. Hard chi goo. Yin Tu was astonished before joy filled his face. This is great, Brother Zhu. Your defense falls when you use your killer move. This goo will make up for your weakness. This goo is precious and rare. You need to raise it carefully. Zhu Kaibei nodded and put back the hard chi goo. He then let out a sigh. It is such a pity that it is only a hard chi goo and not strength chi goo. If it was strength chi goo, my battle strength would undergo a qualitative transformation and surge by 2 or 3 times. Yin Tu laughed loudly. This is just your greed, like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. The ancient chi path has already disappeared. Strength chi goo is extinct. It is your great luck that you could obtain a hard chi goo. Don't be greedy. Zhu Kaibei also laughed. Yeah, but endless greed is also human nature. Ancient chi path had appeared earlier than strength path. The chi path goo worms could alternate between form and formless. Their ability were extremely wondrous. In ancient times, when chi path flourished, 8 out of 10 goo masters would walk the chi path. However, flowers bloom and wilt, powers rise and fall. This is the natural law, and chi path was not exempted from it. After its peak, chi path gradually declined and was replaced by strength path. By Ningbing's vitality goo, Zhu Kaibei's hard chi goo, and Fang Yuan's atmosphere goo were all related to chi path.